rolling. Kaitlin, do you know what episode it is? It's episode 69.
Oh,
Gronk.
nice.
Nice. How are you?
I'm okay. Summer's over. Well, it's almost over.
Nah, it's dead. Dead and gone.
Okay.
Died 2 weeks ago.
I don't really drink pumpkin spice lattes, so I don't know. Maybe you do, Jeff.
I don't drink pumpkin spice lattes, but I drink Oktoberfest beer.
Oh, yeah. It's always good.
Oktoberfest beer is delicious. So we've got that nice. You know, it's fall. It's election season.
It is. And guess what I was doing last night?
What were you doing last night?
I was standing in the rain holding a sign for Lenny Mira.
Oh, good. How did Lenny do?
I don't even know. I don't think he was running on I don't think
okay. All right. So just kind of general.
But I spoke to somebody who voted for him.
Okay. Good.
In Hamilton. So, yeah.
Well, let's get the formalities out of the way, shall we? First, I want to thank Chris Doty for running a good campaign.
Awesome campaign. Something to be proud of, really.
Yeah, really. He did a good job. First time candidate running it. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for throwing your hat in the ring. Giving the normals, something to strive for. Congratulations to Jeff Deal on his second primary victory. Okay, there you go. I'm going to vote for Jeff in November, but that's about all I'm going to do. We hear the kind of faux unity coming out of Jim Lyons and everybody in unity. Oh, now we unify. Oh, okay. When times before they didn't unify if their chosen candidate did. And we all know it's kind of bullshit. There's nothing really to unify for here. I will vote for the Republican nominee. I will vote for most of the Republican slate. There's a couple of nutbags that I'm not even going to acknowledge. But Jeff is going to lose by a lot. Probably more than 25 points. And that is a reality. That is a fact. I'll take any bet. The only bet is over-under, right? Maybe down to 22 points. But about a third of the...
This race is solid D.
Yeah.
And it sucks, right? It sucks coming off of Baker, having a Republican governor. You might not like him, but at the same time, he is that stopper to the political left in the state of Massachusetts. And maybe not in the way that you always wanted him to be, but he was still there. Now there is no stopper. There will be no stopper.
Yeah, I saw Pundit Review had some tweets with Adam Riley over at WGBH. They were going back and forth a little. And the only question is, how quickly do they, like pigs at a trough, just go to town? Spending, taxes, programs, the whole...
I mean, they have a surplus right now, Jeff. That's the thing. Democrats are in the state of Massachusetts. We have a surplus right now of how many? Over $1 billion, right?
I think it's over $3 billion.
It's three, right? Yeah. And so Baker was trying to give that back to the people because, conservatives believe that, when we overpay in taxes and we have a surplus, it should go back to the people. So you are spending money or saving it because it's your money, right? That's when you pay taxes. I mean, the government doesn't own you. So, he wanted to give it back. That's not going to happen under Maura Healey. She'll spend it on bullshit. Sorry, I'm super, I don't even know what to say.
It's fine. No, well, so let's get to the Republican primary and break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
There's something that's sort of not being talked about, because it's like here. Well, one thing I noticed this, and I do my lurking on Facebook or some of the socials for Jeff's page, right? And there are people that genuinely think, I mean, seriously think, they're like, well, Jeff Deal's got a great shot at being governor. It's about time the party put some money behind him. I'm like,
what money?
What are you? What?
Wait. Let's start with number one here. Jeff Deal does not. I mean, this race is going to be solid D. We need to be very honest with ourselves about that. I mean, it just, yeah, like we don't have the party. Number two. The party does not have the money to create the infrastructure to support a massive campaign, like a victory campaign, like in the way that you are going to need to campaign in order to win. And three, Jeff Deal doesn't have it in him.
No, he does not possess the qualities required to win a statewide election. Period. Full stop. I mean, these are people that thought he could have beat Elizabeth Warren 4 years ago. They're people that,
is that against Elizabeth Warren, that was always going to be her race to lose. Jeff might have done a little bit better than people in the past against her, but at the same time, I mean,
well, this is all part. This was all planned. This is all the one now is all planned. This was planned. Rick Green, Jeff's boss, for 2 more months. Till he loses, wanted to stick it to Charlie Baker, who was exhausted after 8 years, and be a thorn in his side. So did Jim Lyons. So they prop up Jeff. They get an endorsement, and this is really the biggest thing that made the difference. Donald Trump, for love him or hate him or anywhere in between, is the head of the party right now. We're an out of power party. He was the last president of the United States. He was the president of the United States. He has a loyal following of about 100. I said this on previous episodes. I think if you remember, we were talking before the podcast. I said the Trump supporters of the Republican Party in Massachusetts about 150,000 votes. And Baker, were he to run for a third term, knew who his 250,000 votes were. I talked to the data guys. They knew exactly, literally, who the people were. It just had to turn them out, if that was the case. Chris didn't have access to that information, right? He got about 100,000 votes, but those 150,000 Trump supporters, Jeff was endorsed by President Trump. That was it. You weren't overcoming that unless you could turn out. You weren't converting those people. You could only overcome those if you got more people to the polls, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's great that he got Howie Carr behind him, because Howie Carr is a really big voice in the Commonwealth, and I think that we're going to see going into midterms, depending on how these Trump endorsements do, because I don't really care about House seats. Like, how the House is going to flip no matter what. I care more about Senate seats, and we're going to see how these Trump candidates perform. The big ones are in Arizona and Pennsylvania with Blake Masters and Dr. Oz. I think Dr. Oz has a more likely chance than Blake Masters of being elected. We'll see. But at the same time, with that, it's like, how long is this going to last? Like, so like going into 2010, let's go all the way back, national GOP politics. George W. Bush was not our party leader anymore. We had just come off of McCain losing to Obama. And we didn't have that kind of centralized person who was in charge. We still have that in Trump. That this is where that is different.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the 2022 midterms. I think that it does ride on whether or not we take back the Senate. I think that's the reason why the Trump people are trying to blame Mitch McConnell on the spending for candidates, while Trump is not spending jack shit. Yeah. And even Peter Thiel is brokering deals with McConnell on spending over Blake Masters and JD Vance because those are his two people. And so
Yeah.
well, we shall see. I mean, it's, I am of the belief, y'all know, I like Ron DeSantis out of Florida. I think that he's an effective governor. And I think going into 2024, Trump is going to have a harder time in this primary than he did in 2016, because I think 2016 Trump is not the same as 2023 or 2024 Trump. So we'll see if this kind of, I don't want to say fever dream, because I don't think that really insulting the voting base of the Republican Party, of which I agree with almost 90%, is helpful or useful. But I do think that we need to ensure that Trump has more of a healthy relationship with the RNC and the GOP in general.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, that's not gonna. I mean, that won't happen.
No, I mean,
you know,
these people are very hardcore Trump people. They're very hardcore.
So going back to what you said about Howie, right? So big heel turn last week. He turns against Jeff, and
but I think he sees that, right? He sees.
No, I mean, I'm way more cynical about it than you. Okay, I mean, one, there's practicalities on the surface that you can point to. Yeah, Jeff doesn't stand a chance against Maura Healey. He's going to lose by more than 20, probably 25. But Jeff also has the September reporting. I read this in the news. He has $17,000 in the bank. Maura Healey has like $4.5 million, and that's $17,000.
Still has $17,000 in the bank.
Yeah, that's what I read. That's it on cash on hand, $17K. So he had no money to put advertising on the Howie Carr network. Chris Doty did.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I only got like one little pamphlet from him.
One. Oh yeah. He had no money. There was no money to be. There will be no Jeff Deal for governor ads on TV. It's not going to happen. Like, Maura Healey can save a lot of that money for whenever, for her reelection in 4 years from now.
Yeah, that's going to be the harder race.
That will be a harder race.
But my big, the country could drastically change in those 4 years. We don't, and Massachusetts in general could. Ooh, was that a sparkling water? What flavor? Sorry to interrupt.
It's Wild Berry. Stop and Shop Wild Berry.
Okay, Stop and Shop. What is it? Blood orange one is like the best. Anyway, very relatable moment. Yeah,
I'm cynical about the Howie situation, but kudos for him for at least striking out and realizing that this wasn't going to work out for him.
Maybe you think this post this moment he's going to start talking about this like Mass GOP like
maybe
drama.
I mean, look, we for the next discussion about this, it's like, all right, so what's next? Jeff Deal loses in November. It's going to happen. And by the way, there are people out there that'll be like, come on, guys, why the negative attitude? That doesn't help anything. It's like, shut the fuck up. And they're from people that are on this side that are hooked into it. Paul, you're one of them. Just stop spinning. Stop spinning this. Stop analyzing the numbers as if there's some hidden message behind the turnout of the electorate.
It
what fucking
is
happened.
a math, right? It is a math game, okay? Like, and that's one of the things that like people need to realize on elections. Like when you go into a campaign, you can see how many voters you already got by being a Republican and how many you can get by getting the indies. I can't see Jeff Deal getting the indies over Maura Healey, and that's like bottom line, like that's the killer. And also when you only have $17,000 in the bank, you cannot promote yourself,
or they will stay home. They'll stay home. They'll stay home. That's what's more likely to happen. This is done. It's over with. And it's not the people that point that out that are the problem here. The
Well,
problem,
we're on the same team. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, so like that's the thing, Jeff. Like, you and I get called rhinos and all of this other stuff. And the true irony of that is that I stood out in the rain for a state representative last night for 2 hours holding a sign for him. Okay. Like, I did that on my own free time. It's not me that's the problem. Okay. It's not me.
no, it is
It's our candidate quality and our ability to fundraise and have, I mean, there's tons of problems. We could get into all of them, but I mean, like, at the same time, it's also the Mass GOP in general is not leading this the Republicans of the state in a good path, and we need to be open about that. We need to be honest about it.
they're unserious people. This is what I
You
saw.
can,
This is what
yeah.
the theme I this is the theme I saw through the socials and the posts last night. They stuck it to the establishment. Huh.
What establishment?
That's
What
it.
establishment? We don't even have one here. That's the who are you sticking it to? The three people we have in the state house and like in the Senate.
This is who this is who they're sticking it to. It's all in their head. They're sticking it to people who make more money.
Mitch McConnell, you
No, yeah,
so
but this is it. They're sticking it to people who make more money than them, who have wives and girlfriends and lives. They're sticking it to people who on the surface, like, well, don't fully embrace Trump because, they have a brain and they go, yeah, there's a lot wrong with Trump. A lot wrong with Trump. But yeah, we'll support him at the end of the day over Joe Biden. But no, he's not. He's like, these are the people that talk to you about how Trump plays three-dimensional chess. The Scott Adamses of the world who think that there's some deeper level to this other than, just.
no, right now
Yeah.
Trump is in a lot of trouble and the RNC is paying for his legal bills. Like, I don't understand why the thing is that, I need Kevin McCarthy to come out with what the messaging is going into midterms. So we can stop fucking talking about Trump all the time. Like, I don't want to talk about the Mar-a-Lago rate anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about these things. I want to talk about the fact that Biden made me pay almost $5 a gallon for gas. Sorry, it makes me angry. That stuff makes me angry, Jeff. That is what makes me, quote unquote, red-pilled.
There's two groups of people that don't want you to talk about that. Liberals in the media and people who support Trump. That's what they want to talk about. And you scratch away at the surface, they think he won 2020. And it's all part of it. And the people, this is the thing. The people that disagree with that, the people that go, this is the thing. More normal people who have conservative principles on a whole host of issues, can't stand Democrats, can't stand progressives, can't stand liberals. They look at these kind of kooky people who, 2020 was rigged and, 2 million votes in Linwood and this, Sidney Powell and all these people. And they kind of believe it, but they're kind of weird. Here's the thing. Dealing with them, they're weird. Look, one thing the left is good at and Democrats are great at is they keep their kooks like largely until they get elected and join the squad. They keep their kooks separated, like they kick them out. They kick them to far corners of the world. We are not that good at that, and they get into power and then they bully people and they make people feel awkward, and it's like, because nobody ever tells them you're out of your fucking mind, and then all of a sudden they're running unopposed for a statewide office. And this is what you got to come to. You got to come to this, get in their face and be like, you're out of your fucking mind. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an unserious person. And this is who is all over and running things right now for the party. And we won't gain an inch until they lose. And even here's the thing, even when Jeff Deal loses by 25 or 30 in November, it won't sink in. It won't sink in. It'll be because of the establishment, or the establishment's, now it's the establishment's fault. It's all the other people's fault.
The imaginary establishment, the imaginary GOP establishment of Massachusetts.
They're just successful people. That you know what it is? Successful people that don't want to vote for Democrats. That's the establishment. And everybody else is just like that. They're people that are on the outside of that. So they call those people establishment, and you get what you get. It's gonna happen. Look, nobody believes the spin. Okay, this is reality. There's nothing to unify behind. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop it. We're not gonna the you know, like Taylor Swift, we are never ever ever getting back together. Like, it's not happening. Lose your things. We'll fight it out. We'll try to get state committee seats. We'll try to vote you out. We may succeed. We may lose, but we're done. We cannot work with these people. So we have to fire them. And that's it. That's my approach. Look, I'm not going to bash Jeff until because there'll be nothing to bash. There'll be no media statements. There'll be no advertising. There'll be no campaign. There'll be no money. There won't be much to bash, but he will lose. So what then? And there's no answer.
I mean, like, I know that people on the state committee watch our podcast, and I know that a lot of Republicans watch our podcast, Jeff, and they do so with the, I guess, hope that there's somebody that voices their concerns. And so at what point does this stop? Like, I mean, like, and that's the thing where it's like, how many times can you lose? How many times can you lose? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I guess I'm from a red state where Republicans win. And so, like, and we live in this high progressive state. Like, I'm not saying losing. We've just seen Charlie Baker win. And so, and the thing is that we can win. But then you attach yourself to a guy that everybody literally thinks is toxic in the state of Massachusetts. And you started losing, and you doubled down on the losing.
But he's their guy. He's their guy, and he won. He was able to beat the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics, and Hillary Clinton. I get it.
I am grateful that Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. We agree on that. Like, she is terrible. And trust me, I wish she would shut the fuck up even now. Like, this has been ongoing since the 90s. I grew up with Hillary Clinton not being able to shut up and using her husband as a human stepladder into power. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, like, how?
Look, there's the split. You said the split. Look, the folks that support Trump is their guy, okay? And he won, and that's that. But he didn't win here, but he won. So and Baker, they were on the outside of that. Baker was never their guy. Those two fought. They picked a side. They picked the losing side here, but it makes them feel good. You said why? They lose, and what happens, or do they ever recognize it? But that doesn't matter. They like losing. This is the thing. This is the mentality. They don't care about winning. They're unserious. They like losing because losing gives them something to complain about, right? Losing gives them the excuse, okay, that it's all the Democrats' fault and the Democrats are causing all the problems. When you win, you're like the dog that catches the car, right? What do you do then? I mean, 2016, Donald Trump did not think he was going to win the White House, but he did, okay? And the folks in the state committee, like, that's the thing. They like losing. They know they're going to lose. They don't care. And that's dangerous. And that's a problem. And we need people that recognize reality. So if you want to change it, well, we got another 2 years before the presidential primaries. You got to know who the state committee people are, and some Republicans out there that are normal got to put together a real campaign, raise money, run for state committee, oust the people that are unserious, and then you vote in a new chairman or chairwoman.
When is the next election?
Next chair election is this January.
Do you think he's going to win again?
Maybe. I was talking to a state committee member last night, and I'm like, well, like, who's like, there's some things have to go a certain way in November. I mean, look, I run things. I might even throw my hat in. I may. And we got, we got things to do in November 1st. But, it's like, are there 41 votes? That's what it comes down to. That's what it's just like. If there's not, and there's 80 people on the state committee. Either you have 41 votes or you don't. And if you don't, then it's not worth running for. It's not worth running for. I think maybe there's 41 votes, but 2 people don't show up and it's done. Like, it literally, and that will happen. They'll call, it's January. They'll be sick. It's snowing, whatever. And Jim will set it up. Jim will, pull the strings. Yeah, he'll pull the strings to like get people to stay home and do all kinds of stuff. Well,
he like refuses even an RNC parliamentarian to come to meetings. Like, what do we expect here? Like, he literally, the irony of saying that the 2020 election is rigged, and then you like kind of.
So look, you
all know what I'm talking about.
Right. You get a new chair. You get a new chair in there, a new chairperson. Then you can start to raise money. You clean the slate. And you literally have to rebuild from the wreckage. That's it. And it will be a long, slow grind. And it's not going to be useless emails and, impotent press releases that nobody cares about and everybody ignores. So it has to be serious. So it'll take a long time.
Take what, that's the thing. Like, Chris did so well in campaigning and getting his platform was great, but Jeff Deal just has that name recognition and the Trump endorsement.
You were not overcoming, if of the pool of people that voted, 250,000, which I think is around maybe off by 10,000, give or take. You were not overcoming a Trump endorsement. That's the low bar for a Republican primary. I remember this from past years. It's like 250,000, maybe 300,000, tops out at around 400,000. Okay. But that 400,000 was for a Baker. By the way, it's non-presidential primary. It's different than Super Tuesday. The September primary. Though the Baker primary, Baker knew who had 250,000 voters, independents and Republicans, to vote for him, that he would drive out. That's what he drove out in 2018. So, they exist, they're there, but they have to, you have to know who they are and motivate them to vote. But that didn't happen. Some of the other races, though, if you want to move, you want to have anything else to say before we wrap up on this?
No.
All right. Well, good luck, Jeff.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, we're not going to see a lot of you between now and November, but
I mean, dude, like you need to be shaking hands and getting money. I
mean, good luck.
Yeah, right.
Good luck. So there were some interesting races that took place on the Dem side that I thought are worth mentioning. One, Andrea Campbell beat Shannon Liss-Riordan, which, look, this is like, liberal or progressive, right? And I guess we got a liberal, which I'm actually kind of happy about. Something about Shannon Liss-Riordan, that woman.
I actually don't know these two people because I live on.
Her ads are all over the place. No, her ads are all over the place. She's awful. And the weird part, there was some stuff about this. Both Warren and Wu backed Shannon Liss-Riordan, but I think because of the teachers' unions. And then the other side of the Dem endorsements, Maura Healey, Ed Markey, Ayanna Pressley. I'm trying to remember, was there another one? All backed Andrea Campbell. And Campbell was like a Boston City councilor with Wu. So it was a bit of a about face. So somebody got to Warren and Wu to endorse Shannon Liss-Riordan. It's probably big labor, which is interesting that they would sell out that quickly and not Riordan. Shannon Liss-Riordan is an awful candidate. She's just she's an ambulance chaser, made millions just suing big companies on behalf of workers. Meanwhile, she poured in $9 million of her own money as a lawyer to her campaign. I mean, just gross stuff, typical stuff. But she lost, and Andrea Campbell won. So she'll be the next Attorney General of the state of Massachusetts. It's going to be eye-rollingly just it's gonna irritate me to no end how we're gonna hear about the constant all-female slate of Democratic candidates for every statewide office. I get it, it's fine, but it's also 2022.
Jeff,
Nobody cares.
Yes, girl boss, girl boss,
yes,
girl
queen, boss. Yes, queen. Oh God.
Okay, I do have to say, like, that kind of stuff doesn't really.
It's gonna.
I mean, if you all know my online Twitter presence, I really hate the girl boss like trope, and I hate like the other thing because I think it kind of downplays women as a whole.
It does. It's demeaning.
Right. Like, I mean, like we're
run on your accomplishments, not your
run on your
yeah.
Well, okay, but like
no, I mean gender. Sorry.
Right. Like run on like your accomplishments. I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like be human. I don't know how else to say this. Like I feel like Hillary Clinton with like the hashtag I'm with her was like a robot. Like on top of just being a horrifying, awfully person going back to I don't know the 80s in Arkansas, but. I mean, and you voted for her husband in 1996.
1996.
I will never let that go. But anyway,
I was drinking a lot back then, so don't
Okay, well, we'll. But yeah, no, I hate the girl boss thing. I'm not excited for Maura Healey at all. I do not like her. I think that the way that she approaches her job as Attorney General is terrible and. Going after big business and big oil.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so boring. It's so boring. Like you're not doing anything for the working man. Going after you're just not like so
they don't know how to think or speak or do anything other than and act in slogans. That's it.
Well, when I even see her with people, she acts like a freaking robot. Like I don't like her.
She has had Maura Healey has had a blessed political career.
Well, yeah. When you are put on a pedestal, let's be perfectly honest.
She's never had a tough race.
When you have that girl boss like trope behind you, okay, and you are placed on a pedestal, okay. This is like the Hillary Clinton syndrome. You're placed on a pedestal. No one could criticize you. So when they do criticize you, you're not ready for it, right? Like, and that's the thing, like, and you get so offended that you're even being criticized. And like, that's what I get from her. So like it's like, how dare you criticize the queen? Like, it's like, how dare you criticize the girl boss? And that's the reason why like Kirsten Sinema doesn't like really have that because she takes criticism all the time and takes it very well. Whereas like Maura Healey is just like, and like Hillary Clinton, how dare you criticize me?
Yeah.
I'm a female strong woman.
Yeah. No, it's going to be, it'll be insufferable. It'll be insufferable. A bigger surprise is Boston's Beto, Chris Dempsey, lost.
Oh yeah,
Chris Dempsey, another
Boston.
Yeah, another insufferable.
Boston Olympic guy. So Chris Dempsey has a degree in finance, yet does not have any background experience in doing financial investigations.
No.
So that lost is well. I mean, I don't think the people voting who voted against him really knew that. They were voting in the Democratic primary for one person, and so he lost.
That, which is great. He's just he's a perennial wants to be.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back for something. I mean, he'll
be back.
Some position that opens up. He's tried to run for Congress. It's just the desperation. He just oozes it all.
Dems have the opposite problem of us, right? Like we cannot fill out a ballot, but they have a pipeline everywhere. They have a ton of qualified people, okay, barely scraping. And I'm talking about bottom of the barrel type of shit.
Yeah.
barely qualifying people or qualified people who want to run for office, and because of the power of incumbency, like it stops them. They can't. It's an inhibitor. So like
Yes.
yeah.
So Diana DiZaglio won the primary. She was a state senator. Um,
What? Stay it. Or it better be nice and no bad words. Really bad words. No bad, really bad words.
All right, we're gonna do a little thing. Okay, everybody at home watching this, go on Google and type in her name and read my mind. And that's it. You'll thank me later.
Oh my God.
We will be original rest in peace member of the RINO podcast, Anthony Amore, will be on the ballot in November for state auditor. He's actually qualified to be state auditor.
Yes, it is. We all love Anthony here. And so, and Anthony, if on election day you need someone holding a sign out in the rain for you, along with Lenny Mears, I will gladly do that for you.
Yes. Anthony Amore, this podcast, I think we're safe to say it and declare it here on episode 69 of the RINO podcast. We our full endorsement to Anthony Amore for auditor.
Of course, so deserved. We love Anthony. He's very qualified for this position. He is the director of security at the Isabella Gardner Museum, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Plus, he's worked for Homeland Security. He's worked.
He's worked for the Department of Homeland Security. So, like, he's done investigation audits. Like, this is his job, so he has done it, and so very qualified for this position. And that's what Massachusetts needs, because we in Massachusetts don't have transparency in government. And that's an actual problem. It's a problem within the state house, but it's also a problem with the oversight of all of that. So we do need somebody as state auditor who can actually audit government and do it well.
Yep. So Anthony, go raise some money. Go raise a lot of money and win this race. It'll be tough with with Jeff at the top of the ticket, but maybe we can get some separation there. This is a good bet. Does Anthony get more votes than Jeff?
Maybe. Anthony needs to be, I'm sure Anthony has more than $17,000 in the bank.
Anthony, you better have more than $17,000 in the bank.
Just be smart with your spending and the way that you're using media, and you'll do well, Anthony. We believe in you.
Yes. All right. I guess that wraps up primary day here in Massachusetts. Congratulations, Governor Healy. Bit of advice. Don't do anything bold. Don't listen to the progressives. You want sky-high approval ratings like Charlie Baker. Don't run.
She's not going to listen to you. She's not going to listen to you.
Michelle will listen. No. Michelle will listen to me. Michelle will listen to me with the whole COVID and the passport things. Like when I'm not giving them advice that they're going to do Republican things like cut taxes and downsize government. Like, I get that. I'm on planet Earth.
No, practical things. I get that.
Right.
I just think that they're nuts. And so they're going to, when they have unified government, because they're going into this unified, they will do immediately off the bat crazy ass shit.
If they go to a crazy climate agenda, if they raise taxes, look, I'm just saying what will happen. Your popularity, your numbers will tank. You want sky-high approval ratings. You want north of 60%. Don't do much. Just run it.
Can she do that? You think she can?
First of all, she is smart. Okay, so it's what do you want? Does she want to put forward a bold progressive vision and listen to the crazies in her party, or does she want to get reelected and be popular? Those are your options, because the bold progressive vision and listening to the crazies results in sub 50% numbers for the rest of your administration. That is a fact. Bold climate agenda. You know, by the way, that thing we talked to Chris Doty about last week, the banning all sale of gasoline cars by 2035. I'm pretty sure Massachusetts has signed on to that. Okay, so quietly disappear that, push that back. You know,
no, she will not. She's gonna hug that like,
yeah.
She's gonna hug that harder than Gavin Newsom is.
I don't know.
And
I don't
Gavin
know. I
Newsom's
mean,
in-laws donated to Ron DeSantis.
yes, I like that.
It was so funny reading that.
The Newsom in-laws are more than welcome on this podcast at any time.
Yeah.
All right.
Gavin Newsom's in-laws, if you would like to come on the podcast and discuss your donations to Ron DeSantis, we would love to have you. Please reach out. DMs are open.
Yes. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
We're going into fall. Hopefully campaign season is good. Go out and support your local Republican.
There are a lot of good
state rep seats and state Senate seats.
Yes.
They absolutely need your small dollars. So yes. Please donate. Please maybe even give your time to go canvassing. They need all the help that they can get.
You can make a difference in that, and they're going to need it. They're going to need that support because the environment is against them. So, okay. Go over to patreon.com/RhinoPod, only $1 a month for extra content. I think we're going to probably do a quick episode and recap. Oh, you know what? If you weren't able to read my mind, you're going to be able to go over to patreon.com for only $1 a month and find out what I was thinking and about the new Democratic nominee for state auditor. Okay. Until next time, we will talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.